As you know, children, there are three organs of the Government of India: the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. The legislature is the law making organ. The executive is the implementing organ, or the law executing organ, and the judiciary is the law interpreting organ. About these three organs, I have already told you in my earlier civics classes. Today, I am going to explain you about the executive organ of the Government of India. So, the executive organ in India functions at two levels: at the central level and in the state level. At the central level, it is known as the Union Executive, and the state level, it is known as the State Executive. The Union Executive consists of first the President of India, second the Vice President of India, and third the Prime Minister and all the Council of Ministers. So children, here you have got one number. You have to write about what is the composition of the Union Executive. The Union Executive composed of or consists of the President of India, Vice President of India, the Prime Minister, and all the Council of Ministers. And the State Executive consists of a Governor, a Chief Minister, and State Council of Ministers. So these are the composition of Union Executive and State Executive. Let us discuss about Union Executive. The first one, the President of India. Yes, children, President of India, as you know, the President is the head of the state, constitutional head of the government. He or she is the first citizen of India. All executive powers of the Union vest in the President of India. Although he is the constitutional head, but we cannot say he is the real head. Why? Because he is the nominal head of the country, while the Prime Minister is the real head. Why? Because all of his or her powers are effectively exercised by the Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers. That is why the President of India is the nominal head of the country, while the Prime Minister is the real head. Qualification. What are the qualifications? A person should require to contest for a presidential candidate in India. The qualifications are: first one, he or she must be a citizen of India. Second one, he or she must have attained at least 35 years of age at the time of elections. Third, he or she must possess all the qualifications required to be elected as a member of the Lok Sabha. Fourth, he or she must not hold any office of profit under the state government or central government or any local government. Fifth, he or she must not be a member of the union or any state legislature. So these are the qualifications required to become a presidential candidate. Here you have to make a number, children. Describe the qualification of a person to contest for to become eligible for the post of president. Let us know how is the President of India elected. Next number. How is the President of India elected? The President of India is indirectly elected by the people. The President of India is elected by an electoral college which consists of first elected members of parliament, that means both the houses of parliament, only elected members, children, remember this, no nominated members, I am telling, only elected members of the parliament. In the parliament, to Lok Sabha and to Rajya Sabha, president nominates some members. They are excluded from the presidential election, keep it in mind. Secondly, elected members of the legislative assemblies of different states. Third, elected members of legislative assemblies of union territories of Delhi and Puducherry. I am telling you, children, nominated members of either house of the parliament and state assemblies are not eligible to be included in the electoral college. Keep it in mind. So here we have got one number, how is the President of India elected. In this manner you have to write. And the election is conducted, this one also most important, the election is conducted on the basis of proportional representation by means of the single transferable vote by the secret ballot system. Once again telling, the election of the president is held in accordance with the system of proportional representation by means of single transferable vote and by secret ballot. So this is, in this way, the Indian president elected. Powers and functions of the President of India. There are various powers and functions of President of India. Those powers of the President of India included legislative powers, executive powers, judicial powers, financial powers, emergency powers, and discretionary powers. These are the different power and functions of the President of India. So we will discuss all these powers one by one. First, legislative powers. Legislative powers of the President of India. First, the President of India can summon and prorogue the Parliament and dissolve the Lok Sabha. Has the power to summon and prorogue the houses of Parliament. And he has also power to dissolve the Lok Sabha. Secondly, he or she can call a joint session of the Parliament if required. Third, no bill can become a law without the assent and the signature of the President of India. he or she can send a bill back for reconsideration or withhold it for an indefinite period of time. But if the bill is passed by the Parliament again, it is mandatory or compulsory for the President to give his or her assent to it. Third, he or she nominates 2 Anglo-Indian members to Lok Sabha and 12 members to Rajya Sabha. In one point also these two you can write. Next, he can issue an ordinance in case the Parliament is not in session or in case some official work requires an immediate legislative action. So these are the legislative powers. 1, 2 more are there, but this is class 8 standard, that's why only this much given. So you prepare this. Otherwise, here one more, the President address both the houses of Parliament which are assembled together for the first session after each general election. That legislative power not mentioned here. You can add also, you can write also. He has the power under Article 123. The President can promulgate an ordinance. The ordinance passed by him or her is valid only for 6 months. He or she is also given the power to withdraw the ordinance at any time, or the ordinance lapses if it is replaced by an act of Parliament. So these are the legislative power. You have to make a note of legislative power, mention 3 or 4 legislative power of the President of India. Executive powers. What are the executive powers? This one also you have to remember. Children, you have to make a note. The President is the head of the Union Executive, as you know. All the orders of the central government are issued in the name of the President. Secondly, he or she appoints the Prime Ministers, and as per the recommendation of the Prime Minister, he appoints all the other Council of Ministers, other ministers. He is the Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, 3 forces, Army, Navy and Air Force, and appoints the chiefs of the 3 forces. He or she makes all the high appointments, such as he has the power to appoint governors of different states, Chief Justice and other judges of the Supreme Court and the High Courts, Comptroller and Auditor General, Solicitor General, Attorney General, Chief Election Commissioner and other commissioners of the Election Commission, and chairman and other members of the UPSC, Union Public Service Commission. All these appointments are made by him. Next, executive power of the President is the Union territories are administered in the name of the President of India. he or she appoints the lieutenant governor for each union territory for administration. So these are the executive powers of the President of India. You have to make a note of it. Then we are having judicial power. What are the judicial powers of the President? The President of India has the power to pardon or forgive, commute, remit, respite, and reprieve the sentence of any convicted prisoner. All the meaning of these words given: pardon means forgive, commute means substitute the current form of punishment with a lighter form, remit means reduce the period of sentence, respite means reduce the period of sentence due to some special reason, and reprieve means hold the execution for a temporary period. Stay order, that means. So, President has the power to give pardon or commute, remit, respite, reprieve the sentence of any convicted prisoners. This one only given as a judicial power. This one also you have to make. That means he is not answerable before any court of law. No criminal suit can be initiated against him during his tenure of office. Only one person, it is the President, against whom you cannot shoot any criminal case. Financial powers of the President. The President is required to get the annual budget introduced by the Parliament. No money bill can be introduced in the Lok Sabha without the recommendation of the President. It is the President, with his recommendation only, a money bill can be introduced in the Lok Sabha. The annual budget contains the estimate of income and expenditure of the Union government for the coming year. Whatever the finance minister proposed in the Parliament on behalf of the President only. The President appoints a finance commission after every 5 years, which makes recommendation regarding the distribution of tax or earnings between the centers and states. These are the three financial powers given in your book. After every 5 years, the President appoints a finance commission, which comprise a chairman and 4 other members. These are the three financial power. You have to make a note of it. Emergency power. The Constitution of India gives some emergency powers to the President in the interest of the nation in extraordinary circumstances. The President can declare these 3 kinds of emergencies, and those are national emergency under Article 352, constitutional emergency under Article 356, and financial emergency under Article 360. So, when there is a danger of foreign aggression or danger to the peace and security of the country, in that case, President has power to declare national or general emergency. at the time of war or at any external aggression. Secondly, if the President is satisfied that the constitutional machinery in a state has broken down, not working properly, or there is a deadlock because of political uncertainties, then the President may declare a constitutional emergency in that state on the recommendation of the concerned governor. On the recommendation of the governor must have to recommend the President that here in my state the constitutional machinery is not working properly. In that case, President may declare constitutional emergency. And there, in that state, thereafter, President rule will be imposed. Financial emergency. If the President is satisfied that a situation has emerged whereby the financial stability of the country or any state is in danger, in that case, he or she can declare a financial emergency under Article 360. So these are the emergency powers, and the last one is our discretionary power. Discretionary power, the President of India acts on his or her discretion in the following situation. That means this is a special power. This is a special power. The President of India enjoys certain discretionary powers. There are certain powers in which the President must have to use his wisdom, wit, and give his judgment personally without the support of Prime Minister. That is why this is called discretionary power. He or she can appoint the Prime Minister from among the contenders when no single party gets clear-cut majority after election to the Lok Sabha. This is one of the most important discretionary power of the President. He or she can ask for reconsideration of a decision or withhold his or her assent to a bill for an indefinite period of time. These two discretionary power given here, actually one, two more are there, but this is class 8, that's why I am also not telling you. Otherwise, one more is the President can dismiss ministers in case the Council of Ministers loses the confidence of the House but refuses to resign. In that case also, this is also one type of discretionary power of the President. The President can dismiss ministers in case the Council of Ministers loses the confidence. These are the power and functions. The tenure and removal. What is the tenure of the office of the President? The term of the office of the President is of 5 years. Normally, generally, a President can work till the completion of 5 years from the date when he joined. He or she may resign before the expiry of his or her terms by submitting a resignation to the Vice President in writing. That means he must have to submit his resignation to the Vice President, and here in case of health issue or any emergency case, he may resign before the expiry of his or her term. Further, the President can also be removed from his or her office by the Parliament by the process of impeachment. So, On which ground? On the ground of violation of the constitution, on the ground of treason or corruption. On that ground he can be removed by a process of impeachment. A resolution must be passed by a two-third majority in the House that initiates the process, as well as ratified by a two-third majority in the other House. In this way he may be removed. The election of the President is held within 6 months of the date on which the office falls vacant. So this is all about tenure and removal. Here also you will be asked to write down the term of the President. Then you have to write, generally the term of the office of the President is 5 years, but he may resign before the expiry of his or her term. Okay, he may resign before his term on the ground of treason, corruption, or violation of the Constitution. Then removal. How is the President of India removed? This is one number. And what is the tenure of, these are 2 marks question, keep it in mind. So this is all about your President. Thank you, children.